Welcome to Tech Talk with Eddie and Ralph, your live help and solution center for YouTube and related tech. Please come in and enjoy the demonstration. Ask any questions you have about the demonstration or any tech-related question. We are here to help you and do this to help you. No question is dumb, and we will do what we can to keep it simple. Thank you. We will be starting soon.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are streaming on Devil Dog and we are streaming on Web's Web. Make sure you go and give each of us a thumbs up. And we would appreciate that. And you can stay in either or. I don't care. I don't need watch hours or anything. But I'm glad you're here.
Yep. So excuse me. Hope everybody, I haven't really seen anybody for a while. Hope everybody had a really wonderful Christmas and a safe and fun New Year's. We didn't do much anything, so we just kind of hung out at home, and that was fine.
Yeah, we did too.
That's what everybody wanted to do, so that's what we did.
I really wasn't feeling good like Christmas Eve on up until like close to New Year or whatever. I'm having, some kind of stomach issues and everything else. Look. There's Major Owl Chafe, my back step, Captain Jerry, Butler Family Farm, and Major Peter, Old Man King Homestead. We also have Demoose here and Nothing But Love. And over here we have Felt Luke 29, who is a major on my channel, I believe, Peter, Old Man King Homestead, and me and Ralph Web's Web on that side. We appreciate everybody coming in.
Yep. I'm glad everybody could make it. I'm dealing with wires tonight. Sorry.
Yeah, but on Christmas, we had, Jamie, her grandfather he was born here in America, but his parents were, and he was in the Army, but his parents were from Mexico. And so Hoorah, Shawnee Gross, thanks for coming in. Every Thanksgiving and New Year, they had turkey and ham and all the fixings, but they also had 2 big pots of tamales, one spicy and one regular. So I guess she was feeling nostalgic this year or whatever. We didn't even have turkey and ham. For Christmas, we had rice and beans and tamales.
Hey, whatever works. We didn't either. We actually did breakfast on Christmas, actually mid-afternoon, so it was kind of brunch, but we did a huge thing, and then I think we just did pizza or something for dinner. We just we're all adults here, so there's
it's
no kids. My grandkids are seniors in high school, so there's no little kids around here. So it's
and then for
different.
New Year's, she made black eyed peas with like ham and stuff, fried cabbage with bacon, deer sausage, and we had it's like cornbread, okay, but it's made with whole wheat flour and stuff, and and then she put cheese and jalapenos in it. It was freaking good. That's the first time. Yes, you can ask questions, Shawnee Gross, and Jerry had prime rib, and then he had prime rib soup or something after that. I guess leftovers. He made it into a soup or something. Good to see you too, Al.
Yeah, Al, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I can't even remember what we did New Year's Day.
Wait, New Year's was after Christmas, Ralph.
Yeah, I know. See, I cook. I know how to cook. I know how to cook real well, but I don't cook. My son cooks most of the time. Unless we're having Turkish food, then Isla cooks. Sometimes John does cook Turkish food too. So, but he cooks most of the time, pretty much every night. And I don't.
What do you cook?
Pretty much everything. Well, I don't do much barbecuing. I grill. I don't barbecue. I grill. There's a difference. But I grew up cooking. I grew up in high school and right after high school before I went in the military, working in restaurants and stuff. So I've always known how to cook. My mom taught me to cook. My best friend's mother and grandmother taught me to cook. So
okay, I'll tell you something funny.
What's that?
Jamie makes these white girl enchiladas that Gary loves. Okay. Every time Gary comes here, he wants her white girl enchiladas. He's never even tasted like her homemade chicken fried steak or anything else. Every time he wants white girl enchiladas. Well, Jamie learned white girl enchiladas from my mother. Okay. Well, my mother called her the other day, all embarrassed and everything else. My mother forgot how to cook white girl enchiladas and was calling Jamie to ask Jamie how to make them.
That's funny. I was like, when I was stationed in Wyoming, one of our maintenance techs was married to a Korean lady, and she taught me how to make stir fry, real stir fry. And of course, I've Americanized it a bit for what we like, but so I was taught how to make stir fry by somebody who is part of their, it's what they do like all the time. So, but probably the best dish that I make is lasagna. I make some
homemade lasagna.
Yes.
Dang.
Sauce is homemade, and then it's a 2-day process. I make the sauce one day, and then I make the lasagna the next day. Because spaghetti sauce is like, this is real tech stuff. Spaghetti sauce is kind of like chili. It's always better the second day when it's had a day to sit and let everything really meld. So that's why the lasagna comes out. That's why I do the lasagna the next day. Plus, I have to make extra because pretty much the only thing that's not really original and standard in my lasagna is I like cheddar cheese, so I add cheddar cheese to all the layers. But other than that, it's your standard, and I use ricotta. I don't use cottage cheese. I use ricotta, so I do it correctly. So it was one of those things that I would make for work maybe once a year. And I have this huge turkey pan that I think the last time I made it, it weighed somewhere around 20 pounds. It was huge. But when I make it, since I worked at a place that was 3 shifts, it wouldn't be fair for me to make lasagna just for whatever shift I was working on. So I made enough to feed all 3 shifts. So I made this huge giant pan of it. But that was
even
something
to the people
everybody.
Even to the people you didn't like, huh?
Yeah. They would get little pieces. No, I would take the big pan to work, and we would just cut it in 3 pieces and then put it in another pan for the shifts that everybody knew when I was bringing it, so they would know not to bring lunches or dinners and stuff. And some guys that work third shift, midnight to 8 in the morning shift, they don't want to eat something that heavy in the middle of the night. So it's like, if you want to eat it while you're here, fine. If you want to take some home, that's fine too. This is for you guys. This is for your shift, whoever's here. So anyway.
Hoorah, Carnegie and hoorah, Radio Jonesy on Tour. Nice to see you. Best dish I made is barbecue kangaroo steaks. They just jump on the plate.
As long as they don't jump off, you're good.
Hey, we're opening up with a question. Shawnee Grows, she says,
Yes.
Okay, great. I am using, you see it right there?
I'm using, okay, yeah. See my there. What are you where you can sell downloads? Downloads of what? Pictures, videos, programs. I'm assuming you're talking about a file of some sort. And I don't know anything about Wix, but I believe it's just a web building site. So they should have like a place where you would drop that download just like anywhere else, just like dropping something into Dropbox or Google Drive or whatever. And it doesn't, if you're looking to do like graphics or video or something like that, it doesn't really matter what you make them in.
It would be whatever she's most comfortable with, and
Right.
Depending on which programs offer what benefits, or the easiest for her as far as what am I looking for the word? Benefits or
Okay, she answered my question. Okay, she will create printables of crops list with diagrams of how the plants fit together. Okay. So basically it's just going to be text and diagrams. So anything that you could probably do it in like a word processor, anything that will let you create something that has text and pictures in it. So that, I mean, that could be a tech, like I said, you could do it in Microsoft Word. You could probably do it in Google Docs. You could probably do it in Canva. You could do it in DaVinci Resolve. You could do it in, any picture editing type software or thing like that. Because you're going to okay, yeah, you said, I was going to ask you if you're going to put these on there just for display or download. You said download to start with. So what you're going to want to make sure is that if it's going to be something that people download, that it's in a format that pretty much everybody can read. So something that is super, super common, like a PDF file. Okay. Even if you don't have a PDF reader on your PC, it will open in your web browser. So that's, I mean, if you want to create it as a picture, of course, you could save it as a JPEG, JPEGs, PNGs. If you want to save it as a PDF, that'll work too. The main thing is to make sure that it's something that pretty much everybody can read, no matter what piece of software they're using on their PC.
We have Adventures America, Terry and Quint come in. Welcome in, brother.
Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, just as whatever, like I said, whatever program you use, just save it as a JPEG or save it as a PDF. Excuse me.
And then tonight we're going to go from software to a little bit of hardware.
Yep. So what we're going to look at first is, you know how Eddie has his alerts set up when somebody subscribed or somebody does this or that or whatever, but it's always the same one. There is a way in Talk Studio to have different ones come up at different times. So Eddie, bring up your dashboard. I'm going to walk you through this. If you know how to do one, you know how to do the other. Just a couple different fields that you have to fill out. But I mentioned this the other day, and then we just never got together to show it to you. They call it variations. Well, I don't know.
Give me a sec, Ralph.
Okay.
This thing ain't wanting to split off.
Oh, what, your new tab?
Yeah, my new tab's not wanting to leave my old tab. I don't know what's going on there.
That's odd, because I just
Let
did
me
that.
bring it. Yeah, let me bring it over here to this tab.
It's always got to be something. Just like before we got on here with my wireless headset not working for some silly reason. It's charged. It's fine. It connected when I turned it on. Whatever. That's why I keep fiddling with this. Sorry.
Give me 1 second. It's
Yeah. I thought about one other thing I could show if you wanted me to, because I'm always talking about how you can do thumbnails in DaVinci, because that's kind of quick. I could show that too.
Devil Dog joined.
Before we talk about the other stuff, if you guys want. If not, I'll just continue on.
okay.
Okay, so this is, excuse me, this is the Streamlabs dashboard where you take care of all your online stuff. So go on your alert box, right? So we'll just look at subscriptions to start with, since that's where we start. So that's the one that comes up all the time right now. Okay. And then you can see all the stuff that's there. That's just a test. Okay, so to add, if you wanted to have something different that would just randomly come up, you click on right where you are, add variation. Give it a name, whatever, sub 1, sub 2, whatever. And then you can either do default settings or copy basically what you have. So this is basically the same screen as the other one, except for that third and fourth option there, randomly. I don't know why they have a drop down there, because there's only randomly there. Whatever. And then frequency. So you can have it use this one very rarely as default, frequently, or very frequently. So, and then and then the rest of it is just like building all the others, where you pick a layout where the text is going to be, your image, and all that other stuff. And that's basically the only difference, is just giving it the frequency of when you want it to pop up. And if you're following what he's doing, he went into what he had uploaded first, and then he clicked over on stock. So this is all the stuff that comes stock with Streamlabs. And he's got that green background because over there next to his preview button, it has the background color as being green. So that's why you have the green background. But that's cool. And then of course you can change the sound on it too.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And same thing with uploads in stock. Wait, that's not right.
No, it's not right.
Close that. Go back up on your sound. Why did it? That was odd. That was odd. Why is it sticking with the video and not going over to the sounds? Scroll down. Maybe it's because when I do this, I only get sounds. I don't know why it's doing this.
It's not even going down.
Are you signed in? You got to be signed in.
Yeah, I'm signed in.
And just pick one. Are those videos or are those sounds?
These are sounds.
Just pick one of those. Yeah, that was strange. I don't believe that you're limited.
I'm playing that one. No, I'll have to worry about that later.
Yeah, and then you can change the font settings and all that stuff there too. So standard alert type stuff. That's pretty much it. So now those three should play randomly. Don't forget to save.
Yeah, where's my save?
Should be down there. It's not highlighted. What? What'd you break now? Go back over to sub 1 because I don't think you saved that one. See, that's not high. You can't save there either. Do a test. Not a preview, a test. Next to the save button. I don't know if that came up on YouTube or not.
Maybe because I already saved it. It just let me
Okay.
save that.
Okay. Let's go back over to sub 2.
It's already saved, I guess.
I guess. So anyway, as like if people go through and do their, I've been a member for so long thing, it should show up. The different ones should show up on YouTube. And I don't have YouTube up right now because it drives me crazy to have two things doing the same thing like 5 seconds apart. Now I'm curious as to why you can't change your sounds there. Anyway.
That's media gallery. See, it's saying media gallery instead of.
And you would think it would say sound gallery. Let me see if I can pull mine up and see what it says.
Hoorah, Teresa. Welcome in, Drunken Chef. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay. Okay. If I look at mine says Media Gallery 2, but if I'm on stock, it shows me sounds, not video. And I was creating a new variation. Huh, that is strange. Oh well. What did you do? Log out and log back in?
Yes, sir. Did save those.
Yeah, you also notice you have another button there that says Manage Variations.
Yeah.
You can go in and delete them there and edit from there. It gives you a list of all your variations and stuff.
Still not doing it. Select audio. There we go.
The internet is such a wonderful place. Ah, man. You didn't save that.
How long's that gonna play?
Should be 8 seconds. Because doesn't matter what I don't believe it matters how long the actual sound is. The alert duration is 8 seconds.
Well, no, it's still playing in my ear.
Oh,
No, it just ended. That was probably too long. See now.
yeah, scroll down. There's some
On what?
shorter ones. No, on your sounds, there's a whole bunch of them there. Some of them are shorter. Some of them are like chimes and stuff like that. Go back to stock. And just scroll down. So bells is short. Anything like a chime is short. Power chords, I think, is short as far as duration goes.
Yeah, that was short.
Yeah. Sorry if this is boring over on the YouTube side, guys.
Two.
But this is the type of stuff you have to.
See right here now. It's going.
Why is it?
Now it's going to the music and not.
Oh, that's bizarre. Yeah, I have no idea.
Members, chats, two. Yeah, see, back to the music.
Yeah, I
It is
got me on that
not-
one. Of course, I picked something that's not going to work. It never fails. Murphy strikes again. I don't know why it's getting stuck. I close mine. I bring mine back up and see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
There we go. See, every time I have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to do that.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Excuse me.
Hey, here's one for Gary. Here's one for Gary. A bat. PNG.
Yep, there you go.
Got a lot of stuff.
And again, since you can upload, these are the type of things that you could create yourself and upload.
There's some for Dez. Groovy
Yep.
and creepy.
Yep. See if we get down in the. We already gone by the G's. I'm gonna say, see if we had any gnomes.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Let's do that.
Yeah, see, that's a good one for a super chat.
Okay, let's go to sound and get pictures.
Sure, that makes total sense.
Yeah, that's your thing.
Oh, that is just too weird.
Back to dashboard. Let's see if it does it now. Oh. Log out and log back in, which is not a big deal.
Yeah.
Need to report that to Streamlabs.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Especially since I was just in here playing this, not right before we came on, but earlier today. Oh. Sorry if that just echoed. I pulled up the wrong thing. pretty much just doing the same thing you are, just to see what goes on here.
Guess I didn't save it.
Nope, mine's doing the same thing. All right, let's see if I save. Nope. Yeah, it must be something at Streamlabs, because mine's doing the same thing now, and it was not doing this earlier today. And I'm not in your studio, I'm in my studio, or I'm not in your stuff, I'm in my stuff. So they must be having a problem.
All right. Well, y'all can see though how we do that.
Right. It's not that the not adding variations is working, it's that they're having a problem with their buttons and what they're pointing to. And
No, it's not all Devil Dog's fault this time there, Jerry.
nope. Nor is it my fault. Nor is it Dave's fault. Dave is a guy I used to work with, and if something went wrong, it was always Dave's fault. And he would even say, "Oh, it's my fault." He didn't care. So yeah.
Hoorah, Mona did what?
Yeah, like I said, they must have a problem, because I looked at this earlier today to make sure I was on the correct page, and it was working just fine. That's why I was surprised when that happened. But mine is doing the exact same thing, so it's on their end. It figures.
Hoorah, Bud Files. Thank y'all for coming in. Hoorah, Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline.
So somebody put a change in early that's not working properly. Speaking from a data center point of view, usually changes go in Saturday night, early Sunday morning, so you have time to get them in, check them out, and fall back or fall forward if there's a problem before Monday morning rolls around. So it's probably just literally a little bad piece of code that didn't get noticed. Somebody will get a pink slip on Monday. Nah. Nah, not that bad. But yeah, just the way data centers work, and updates and changes usually go in on weekends so that they have time to make sure they work and have time to recover or fix whatever may be wrong. It's one of those things that you can test, and everything can look perfect. And then all of a sudden you put it in actual production, and it's like, oops, we didn't think of that 1 in 5 million scenario that could happen. But there it is, the first thing that comes up. That's just the way it works. That's why you got to be very agile when you work in data processing. It's very much like being in the military and adapting to your situation and continuing on. Very much the same mindset. But it's the way it goes. So what are we looking at for time here? So we have an hour. So you want me to show how you make a thumbnail in DaVinci real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hang on just a second. Let me get DaVinci up here. I'll just use the last video I made.
That the one with butterflies?
Yes. Share screen. Okay. So this is the last. Why'd you do that? This is the last video I made. It's the one of butterflies with just some couple blues tracks in the background. I don't have sound turned on for this, so you probably won't hear it. So this is just all the videos. There's transitions in between each one. So it's basically just a video slideshow. That's how I make these things. Pretty simple stuff, but they're fun and I enjoy it. Stop doing that.
Jerry, what do you mean? I have a question. If you can tell me on an editing program how you can cut the screen in half so you can have two screens is one, Jerry? Okay, I think what he's asking, I'm not sure. I think what he's asking, Ralph, is like if you're doing this butterfly thing,
Right.
he wants to cut the screen in half to show two different videos on the same screen at the same time, the output. You see what I'm saying? It would just be resizing it, right? Putting them one above the other and then resizing it to whatever fits on half the screen. And
I'm not really quite sure what he's trying to get. I'm not really quite understanding the question. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Take the playhead over just a little bit so we can see the screen, so we can see a butterfly or something. Okay. What he's talking about now, I don't know if he's talking about vertical or horizontal, but you see how we see that one butterfly? I think what he's talking about is splitting the screen in half to where you have one video playing on the left side and one video playing on the right or top and bottom. I don't know which way he's talking about splitting it, but hoorah, Kevin, thanks for coming in, brother. Appreciate you sharing it out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
I think that's what he's asking. He said he tried that.
I know when you go into Fusion, you can get like, what you're working on and what the output looks like in two different screens. I thought you could do it here. That's just HDR. That's not it. I'm not sure right off the top of my head here. Nope, that's the inspector. I don't know, I'll have to look at that. I think I know what you're talking about, and I think there is a way to do it, and I just can't think of it right now. I'll check that out. Anyway.
Are you talking about horizontally or vertically, Jerry? Or one?
Yeah, like one video here and one video here, or one video here and one video here. You could probably create a layout to do that. I'm not sure. I'll check into it for you, though. But I know if you're over here in the Fusion page, you can get like dual outputs and I can put that over there just by changing these. But that's in the Fusion page. That's for doing other things. That's for doing graphics work. Yeah, I want to say there is a way, but I can't think of it right now. I like working in single screen, so
right and left. Okay.
Right and left.
I mean, it's easy to do enough by resizing, stacking videos and resizing them and positioning them on one side on the left, one side on the right.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Are you? Oh, I thought you were just talking about. You're talking about in your output having two videos side by side.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
My bad. I thought you were talking about in this edit page, while you were creating your video. Yeah, there is.
Well, it also depends what editing software you're using, Jerry.
Yeah, I think he's using DaVinci.
Okay.
Yeah, it absolutely 100% depends on your what program you're using. I believe. I want to say there's an effect. Oh man. I want to say there's an effect or something where you can put things side by side. I can't think what it is right now. It's
I see.
Jerry. It's definitely doable.
Yes, Jerry.
It may be a plug-in or something. Oh man, I think this is one of the things they just added. Yes, that's it right there. Video collage. That's what you want to play with right there. You see what it's doing? That just kind of gives you an example.
Hold on a minute. Give me a sec. My computer. Okay. Where'd you get that at?
It is under effects.
Open effects.
Open effects, and then open effects, and then scroll. You can see my scroll things way down. Where's my mouse? Way down here towards the bottom. It's called video collage. And once you drop it on a clip,
that one does. Oh, okay. You can tell it.
You can make it 1 by 1, 2 by 2. So you do. Excuse me.
Now another question: is that on the free version or paid version?
I am on the paid version right here. If you pull yours up, I believe I believe it's on the free version too. Maybe not because it's FX. I don't know. I'll tell you guys one thing. In the newest version of Resolve 19.1.2, I think it is, a lot of the stuff that was blocked in the free version is now unblocked in the free version. Especially a lot of the new titles that you would.
Yeah, and I missed out on the sale too.
Yeah, that sale ended like the week after I told everybody about it.
Yeah.
And I was going to get Affinity, which is the photo editing software. Chris was going to get me that for Christmas. And he didn't come down, and it went. I had just checked it the day before, and Chris came down and said, "Hey, let's get that piece of software you want." We went to get it, and it went off sale. So, I didn't get it.
I'll wait till the next time. Hopefully
that's what I told Chris. I said, just save it. Don't worry about it. I'm not paying the full price for it. When they seem to put that on sale 2 or 3 times a year. So that's not a big one. That's not a big deal to me. The DaVinci thing is kind of a big deal because that is the first time I've ever seen them put that on sale. So that you might have to wait until next year to get that sale price if they even do it then. I don't know what kind of response they got to it. So
it looks like it is on the free version as well.
Okay, cool. But that's the easiest way to do it, and that way you can make them big enough so that it gets rid of all the background picture and all that stuff. So anyway, that's the easiest way to do it.
Yep, it is on the free version.
Okay, cool. So I just deleted that.
Does that help you out, Jerry?
Yeah.
Hoorah, Simon.
Hopefully it did.
Oh, Jerry's using Filmora.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea.
He said, but you're so close to the same. No.
No, not even
I forgot
close.
that you were using Filmora. Yeah, he has a paid version of Filmora. So
that's again, use whatever you want, but I don't know if you'll be able to do it with Filmora or not. It's a program that I never used because I don't like subscription stuff if I don't have to. But that's just me. Okay, let's go back to where we were here real quick. So the way I make my thumbnails, if anybody's looked at my channel, my thumbnails have a little border around them and they have text and all that good stuff on it. But I don't get out of DaVinci to create my thumbnails. I create a separate timeline for my thumbnails. There's a couple different ways to do this. And usually I use a still frame from one of my videos. If you didn't want to use a still frame for one of your videos, if you want to just use a picture as, the thumbnail, that works too. So if I was going, I've already done this, but I'll do it again. If I was going to use this clip right here to be what I wanted to use as my thumbnail, I would just highlight it, right click on it, come down to right at the top and say create new timeline using selected clips. Boom. Now, if you're doing a standard video, I'll call standard video as 1920 by 1080 or 720p, then you don't need to change this. These are all done in 4K, and I don't want this still frame to be in 4K because it's going to be too large. It's going to be over 2 meg. So what I do is I turn off my project settings and I come up in here and I just change it to 1920 by 1080. That's going to be this timeline that I'm creating, not my old one. Because when you create a still frame, when you export a still frame from DaVinci, it uses whatever resolution the timeline is. So that's why I have to go change this. It'll still do it, but you can't upload it to YouTube because it creates too large of a file. So what I do is that's wherever I want. Just go to whatever frame I want to use for the thumbnail. Let's say that's a good one right there. So that's what my thumbnail is going to be. To put the border around it, you go to your effects and effects, colored border. You just drag it on your video clip. Doesn't matter where you drop it. Come up here into your effects, change your color. I just kind of pick something that kind of halfway matches. Ooh, that's a little too bright. That'll work. And again, I'm just going through this really quick. My edges I set for 0.15. I set this for, and this is, you set this for whatever you want. You just play around with it, get what you like.
Bye, Des.
This I set to 0.12 because that's what YouTube does to the corners of your videos or your thumbnails. So that's how I create the borders. And now if I want text, I just come up here into my titles. You can pick whatever kind, either text or text plus. Doesn't do anything to pick any of these that have motion in them because you're just doing a still frame. So I'll just make it simple and put my text here. Highlight it and say my video. Change your font, whatever you like. It's making big. Whoa, not that big. Change color. Boom. So if I had everything in my video or in my screenshot that I wanted, my picture, you can add other things like the little 4K image that I have up in the upper corner. That is, here I'm pointing at my screen thinking you guys can see it. That little thing that I put up here on my 4K videos, that's just a little picture. So I just add that on top and I just you just layer it up and build it up until you get done. And then to export it.
Jonesy said, I did enjoy this video you did.
Yes, you did comment on it. I don't think very many people have watched it yet.
I haven't yet. I've seen it pop up, but I hadn't watched it yet.
So what you do up here is you come up to File and Export, and then Export Current Frame as Still. And then it just comes up like this. Give it a name and export. And there it is. It's just, and that's exactly what it will look like. And then you just upload that as your thumbnail. If you were going to use just like a still image, you would do it the same way. Instead, you would just drop your still image in here instead of your video. And DaVinci by default will make that a still image is 5 seconds long. And you just do the same thing. On a still image, it doesn't matter where you put your playhead because it's the same thing all the way through. There might be one part of it, one frame in a video that you really like that you wouldn't like to use your thumbnail for. That's how I do my thumbnails. So I don't have to jump out and go to a photo editing program or a, design program or anything like that. I just do it right here. And that way everything is together. And you'll notice up here, this is the actual thumbnail for that video. That's what I'm saying. I had already done this. So if you go look at my channel, this is the thumbnail that is on my channel for this video. And that's what I was saying. I just put the border on it, put my text on it, changed my font and all that good stuff. And then just put the little 4K thing up there. And it's big when you put it on there. I just resized it small and put it up in the corner. So very simple stuff. And then just export it. There's just 3 tracks to it. Of course, no audio. That way, and then I went in and renamed it, just same thing. Have to rename it to thumbnail so I know what it is. So that's, and you can change your timelines up here. So timeline 1, that's the video. Thumbnail is the thumbnail. And then timeline 3 is the one that I just created. So even, you'll notice on some people's, yes, this is available. DaVinci is available for Macs. Works pretty much the same. The paid version of DaVinci right now is a one-time $295. I've been using this since version, I want to say 13, maybe 14, maybe 15. I'm not sure. I've been using this for a while. We're on version 19 right now. I've never had to pay for any upgrade at all. And I don't mind. I don't care what video editor you use. This is one of the best. It just is. So where I was going was, you notice sometimes on people's videos, you'll go look at them one time and they'll have a thumbnail on it of one type. And then you go look at it the next day or a couple of days later, and it's got a different thumbnail on it. When doing it this way, you could build all your, like if you wanted to have 2 or 3 different thumbnails for your videos and change them out. I don't know if you can do this on YouTube automatically or not, but if you wanted to go change them out, just say like every 3 or 4 days or, once a week, in here, you could go build all of your thumbnails within this same program without ever leaving DaVinci and have everything right here in one project.
Hoorah, Web. Welcome in. Thanks.
It's just a way to ease your workflow. And like I said, since DaVinci will also work with stills, you could use this as a photo editor also. No, I'm not biased at all. I just love this program. And I hate subscriptions. I utterly hate subscriptions. And what these guys give you for free, yes, I'm using the paid version, but I paid for this. That's why I want to say I started with 13. I think I paid for this either right before 15 came out or right after 15 came out. So I've been using this for a while. And like I said, there are no, when 20 comes out, it will be free for me. And if you research Blackmagic Design, who's the company that makes this, they are very committed to keeping the free version and keeping this as, something that is very high grade. And I know $300 sounds like a lot, but very affordable, especially if you compare it to something like Adobe, which is a subscription service at $50+ a month forever. And you're pretty much bound by whatever they decide they want to do. So that's a whole nother discussion. Again, the free version, for what most everybody does, the free version is plenty. And like I said, if you're paying $50 a month for whatever, whether it be Adobe, whatever, I'm just using 50 as a round number because it's easy to work with. In 6 months, you've paid for DaVinci, and you will never have to pay for it again, as far as I know, and as far as everybody else who's ever worked with it knows and works with Blackmagic very closely. Blackmagic is not a software company. They're a hardware company. They make professional cameras and video editing equipment. They make video editing, a whole table that is nothing but a video editor with like trackballs and all kinds of stuff on it. Go to the Blackmagic website and look at some of their stuff. They have you pay $50,000 cameras on there. So
you pay $20 a month, Jerry. And see, here's another thing. I have the free version. I haven't had the $300 to buy the paid version yet. And there's only one thing that I have not been able to do with the free version that I've wanted to do so far. And that was take a piece out of a video and put like a green screen behind it to put that piece into another video. You can do that with the paid version, but you can't do it with the free version.
Let me correct that just a little bit. You can do it with the free version. It's just not real easy because you have to do a bunch of masking and stuff. In the paid version, they have a lot of that, and that's a lot of the difference in the paid and the free version is in the paid version, there's a lot of AI stuff built into it. What they call the magic mask. Let me see if I can do this real quick.
Well, see, I don't pay anything. I don't pay anything, Jerry. And what can you do that I can't? That's the question. What are you getting?
I can answer.
$20 a month for 12 months is what, $240?
Yep.
So you
pay
$240
basically in a year and a half, basically, you would have paid for it and never have to pay for it again. And in that year and a half, you can learn to use the free version. Again, I'm not trying to convince anybody to do it. I'm just trying to show you what you're paying. Please don't listen to what I have to say just because I love this program. Please use whatever program that you're comfortable with. This is an advanced program. It doesn't have to be advanced unless you want it to be advanced.
Yeah.
Okay? If you want to be afraid of all of these buttons and everything, there's no reason to be, because you don't need them all and you don't need to learn how to do all of this stuff. This video, this is a 4K video, and literally all this is a bunch of video clips, 4K video clips that I downloaded from Envato Elements that I belong to. And these two soundtracks are from Epidemic Sound, which I belong to. These are two of one of maybe 3 or 4 things that I actually subscribe to. But I do this because they have really good quality stuff. Their music is some of the best on the internet. Again, it's not cheap. Epidemic Sound, I think, is $118 a year. And I think Envato is somewhere around that too. I can't remember. But I also write this off on my taxes. So, but that's all this is. And then I put a transition, and all the transition is the drop to color, so that you get that nice little drop to black between each one. And that's all this is with these two underneath it. I did very little editing to this other than adding the fades at the end, did a little bit of shortening on some of these videos. Yeah, I mean, literally from the time I start looking for videos until the time I've exported this takes me about maybe 2 hours to do. And I will say the majority of that 2 hours is me finding the music I want to use.
Mm-hmm.
So this doesn't have to be difficult. And then in DaVinci, to create your video, you come over here to the deliver page. Whoops. To the deliver page. And you don't even have to mess with any of this stuff. You can create all your custom stuff and everything. And you just come over here to YouTube, select that, give it a name, tell it where you want it to save the video, click add to render queue, and then render all. That's it. Boom, you're done.
Yep.
It may be a couple more clicks than some of the easier programs, the more simple programs, but that ain't hard. It's the same thing. If you export a video, I don't care in what program it is, it's going to ask you to.
Thanks, Jonesy.
They ask you where to save it, so that's no different. But anyway, again, all these video editors work pretty much the same with the timelines and all that stuff. And yeah, I know this one is a little bit more complicated than some of the others, but it also gives you more because you also have these three things right here that you do not get in anything else. This is the Fusion tab. This is where you can build your own graphics, graphic effects and stuff. It's a little complicated to use, yes, but nobody says you have to learn it to start with. I didn't learn it to start with. I was very afraid of this page when I first started using Resolve. I never touched it because it was confusing. Same thing with the color page. This is the page that professional people use to color grade their videos. Like I keep telling everybody, if you've watched something on TV, you've watched something that's been color graded with DaVinci. I guarantee it. This is where you do your magic masking and all of that stuff. And tracking, like if you wanted to blur out somebody's face as they were moving in a video, this is where you would do it. And there's another thing about DaVinci is there are tons and tons and tons of YouTube videos on how to do all of this stuff. Once you've done, like if you want to blur out somebody's face, once you've done it a couple times, it's really quite simple. A few steps to it, but again, nothing ridiculous. This is the Fairlight page. This is a complete audio manipulating page right here. So that's just it. And all these other programs, you don't get all this other stuff. You would have to go find another program. And there are other programs out there that do all of this stuff.
Thanks for coming in, Natasha.
And then the Deliver page is where you do your exporting and you can create, whatever you want. They have all these presets. I have a couple different presets that I created. I use this for creating something that has a transparent background. So like if I took this butterfly out and just had just the butterfly, and that's what I wanted to, export with just the transparent background, I would use this to export it with. This is my YouTube 4K settings. This is my YouTube 1080s. And this is just a setting I was playing with. And you can save all this stuff. So like once you set all your stuff up here, you just come over here and say, what is it? Save as new preset, give it a name, and then you can just pull it up here and click on it and go. So like when I do these videos, I come over here, but when I do my export, I pick that up and you notice it does all of my stuff for me. These are just the settings I use. This creates a really high quality video without a huge giant size, but it's already got everything I need. You can also take, 16:9 videos, convert them to vertical format 9:16 and retrack everything. I know you can and a lot of others do. Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a rant about DaVinci, but it's just a very, very, very good program. I initially got in here to show you how I create my thumbnails. Then I went off on a tangent.
Natasha wants to know, she hasn't used this program yet. She's been stuck in Final Cut Pro 10. How does it compare to that?
Final Cut Pro is a Mac program, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's probably a little bit better.
And Jonesy, Tasmania Island Life says, I've been using CapCut lately because it lets his old computer work pretty good. So he'll keep using it until he updates his computer. Yep,
that's fine. CapCut is fine. There's just some things to know about CapCut. The main thing you should know about CapCut, if this matters to you, is that it's owned by a Chinese company called ByteDance. who's the same company that owns TikTok. So if that matters to you, I just want to make sure that you are aware that that is a Chinese company, and they keep doing some I won't say bad things, but just playing with their software. Some of the stuff that used to be free on CapCut is no longer free. It's because they have a pro version too. For what it costs. So
he says he likes Chinese food.
That's fine. I love Chinese food too. That's why I say if it matters to you, I know some people that if it's made in China, has anything to do with China, they do not want to support it, use it, or do anything, and that's fine, and that's up to you. That's your prerogative. But I just want to make people. It's a good program. It is a good program. But like I said, they have taken some stuff that was free and is now not free. I do have it. I have it installed on one of my other computers, not this one. I just rebuilt this. I just reloaded Windows and everything. So in the middle of me doing that, Jerry wants me to help him do something. I have to tell him, no, I can't help you because I don't have a computer right now that works. Anyway, I got him where he needed to be anyway. So I gave him enough email information to get him where he needed to go. But anyway, no, like I said, DaVinci is a very good program. I do like it very much. I like the company behind it a lot. And again, I'm not knocking any of the others except maybe Adobe. Also in Adobe and some of the other programs too, like I was showing you, all these extra things down here. The Fusion, this is After Effects in the Adobe world, in the Adobe ecosystem. It's a separate program. Okay. And if you add it to your Creative Cloud or whatever they're using now for their subscription, it's an extra charge. I don't know what they use for color grading, and I do think they have an audio thing, but again, it's a separate program. You add it and it's another charge. So, I mean, this is a full suite of complete editing tools. It is not just one thing. And like I said, don't learn that one. Don't learn that one. Definitely don't touch that one. Use basically the edit page and the deliver page. It's really all you need. The cut page is just a different style of editor. A lot of people will use this for doing like initial cuts and stuff like that, and then just jump over here into the edit page to do their fine tuning and stuff. But if you notice over here in the edit page, the playhead moves, the video doesn't. This is the exact opposite. Whoops. The playhead is stationary. I'm not going to fix that. I'm not going to save this. So it's just different ways of doing edits. Okay. Some people like this cut page. I don't.
You hear me, Ralph?
What? No.
I said Control Z.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to save this, so I don't care. And then you can pull all your videos in here. I mean, I normally do it in here. It's the same thing, but they just let you control all your media. You can, copy, paste, add videos, whatever into this page here. Like I said, I normally work in this page and this page if I'm just doing simple edit, video editing. If I'm masking something out, use the color page. If I'm creating something special, or some things that are not so special, like the text plus box. If you want to do character level styling on it, you have to use this Fusion page for it, but it's not hard. And I have a video on it on my channel. But again, it's a full suite of tools, and it's kind of a learn as you go thing. So like I said, you get it, download the free version, check it out. It's free. If you don't like it, delete it. And don't get overwhelmed by all these buttons and everything that goes on. Work in the edit page and the deliver page. And that's all you got to do. Again, I'm not knocking any other piece of software. If it delivers your video and it does what you want, use it. But again, free, a lot of the free software has limits to it. Even this does. But what you are able to do in the free version of this is by far way above anything that you will get anywhere else for free. And it comes with all these built-in titles and stuff, and just, there's a lot of built-in stuff to it. There's a lot of add-ons you can get for it. Like these generators and stuff, these effects. Like if you wanted, just drop that on there. Oh, look, we're in binoculars. So, I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff you can do with this. There's the colored border I use. Drone overlay, DSLR, This flying flag is pretty cool. I'll have to play this. I don't know if that's going to show or not. There's, what did that take? One click, drag and drop it on there. And then you have different things you can do to it. You have controls on. That's just it. These controls down here, when you put these over here, you have control over what they do. It's not just here's your effect. Boom. That you take it as it is or don't use it. Over here, you can control all kinds of stuff about what it does. I think that's kind of it. As you go up in quality of program, you go up in the level of control that you have over things. Oh, I didn't realize my chat was not. I was wondering why you kept seeing things and I wasn't, because my chat was stuck. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting and raving about DaVinci. But like I said, it just doing my thumbnails that way just lets me work in one program. Don't have to close this, pull up another program. That way, all of my workflow, all of my project is within one program and completely customizable. I know in CapCut you can do the same thing with your thumbnails. Again, not quite as much control. Everybody says that your thumbnails are very important. So again, and everybody complains about video editing. So I'm just trying to show you something that you can use for free and shorten your workflow. And shortening your workflow is basically time saving. But the thing is, if you're going to do YouTube or social media or anything, and this is kind of my hardware discussion I was going to get into, and I'll try to keep from going completely off the rails here. When you do any kind of social media, if you're going to do videos, and I'm not talking about shorts. To me, shorts don't count because all you got to do a short is record something on your phone and upload it. There's no creativity to that whatsoever. But if you're going to do any kind of social media and you want to create long form videos, even short videos, these really good shorts that you see on YouTube, that's not something that somebody shot on their phone and just uploaded. That was edited. All of the fancy stuff is done in a video editor. All the video editors now will edit vertical video. So will DaVinci. And like I said, in DaVinci, and most of them, you can take a 16:9 video and convert it to 9:16. The advantage in DaVinci is that you can reframe it so that it stays on the subject and doesn't, move all over the place. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You've got to learn to video edit to a certain extent. Okay, it comes with the territory. Okay, And it's no different than using the correct tool to do the correct job, whether you're woodworking, working on your farm, working on your garden, or anything. The right tool for the right job. A phone is not the right tool to do video editing on. Okay? It's one of those deals that just because you can doesn't mean you should. You're very limited in what you can do on a phone. I know everybody's going to be saying, well, I edit on my phone, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and you're probably one of the people that hates video editing. If nothing else, just from your screen real estate, that you have to keep changing screens to do different things. Whereas on a PC, pretty much everything's going to be on your monitor. You're not going to be having to jump around from here to there. Yeah, that would drive me totally insane if that's what I was trying to do. Plus, I don't care. That is not a big enough surface to do video editing on without constantly zooming in to see where you are, switching pages, switching screens, and all that other stuff. And it's probably why you guys really hate to do this. It's really not that difficult. It also takes the willingness to spend the time and effort and maybe a little bit of investment into building a decent PC. I'm not saying you have to go out and get crazy like I do and have RGB up and down every side of it, water cooling and all of that stuff. Okay, I do that because that's what I like to do. If that's what you need to do, go for it. Doing all that kind of stuff is expensive. Okay, all my fans with all the neat RGB and their Infinity fans from Lan Li. Okay, they're not cheap. They're very expensive, in fact. But that's what I wanted, so that's what I built. Building a PC for video editing is not building a gaming PC. Okay, you can build a decent PC that will do video editing for you for about $600 to $700. Now, I know that may sound like a lot, but I'm sure some of you have spent that much on a piece of equipment for your farm, your homestead, your garden, your workshop, or whatever. So just think of it the same. You're investing in something that's going to help you improve your channel and help you improve your videos. I know PCs are very, very, very confusing, and that's why I say, if you want advice on what to get for a PC, all you got to do is email me. Nobody ever does. I'm willing to give you guys free advice on this stuff because there's a lot of misinformation out there about what you need to build and what you should get for doing this. Some of these big box stores, I won't name names, but the blue and yellow letter guys, their salesmen are on commission, and most of them have no idea what they're talking about as far as computers go. A lot of them are younger, I'll say kids. I'm including some people all the way up into their 20s and stuff in that they're gamers. So they're going to sell you a gaming PC, and a gaming PC doesn't mean anything. They're going to try to sell you the most expensive thing they can, because that way they will get the biggest commission. It's the way that they work. Okay. And it would be different if the majority of their people really knew what they were talking about and were really interested in helping the customer, but they're not. And I'm not saying they're all that way, but the majority of them are. And the nomenclature of gaming PC, don't fall for that. Anything can be a gaming PC. The biggest piece of crap laptop, if it can play solitaire, they will call it a gaming PC because it's all it is marketing. That's all it is. It's just a marketing scheme. The only thing that differentiates a gaming PC, and this has gotten to be very gray, is the video card, basically, because you need something a little bit heavier duty than normal to play the newer games on. You don't need a top of the end video card to do video editing with. You don't need a top of the line PC to video edit with. I'm not knocking what Eddie's got, but Eddie is probably at this point in time low mid tier, high low tier on his PC, and it edits just fine. His video card is just fine for doing video editing. You don't have to have a super PC to do this stuff on, and it will make your life a whole lot easier, and you might actually learn something and enjoy video editing. And unless you're doing something just really ridiculous, you shouldn't be spending 8 to 9 hours editing a video. Anybody that does anything on YouTube, unless it's just like super intensive, there's no reason to spend huge amounts of time video editing. A PC will help you with that a lot. Like I said, let me show my screen again. I will show you what I'm talking about. In just a second. Yeah, I'm on kind of a rant, but I listened, I didn't get into, but I listened to a lot of lives over the Christmas holidays. And the one thing that I just kept hearing and hearing and hearing was how everybody hates video editing. And I'm like, well, guys, come on. Oh, you didn't pull my list up. Oh, man. Oh, well.
You're not logged in.
I don't have to be logged in.
Oh, okay.
Why did you do that? Okay. So if anybody on here knows anything about PCs, you kind of will know what I'm talking about here. Okay. This is PC Part Picker. This is where you can go configure your PCs and stuff. And some people like this website, some people don't. It gives you prices, and it'll look up the best prices right at the moment and everything. You will see that some of these prices, this one is from Newegg, this one's from Amazon, blah, blah, blah. So this PC this is probably not going to mean a lot to a lot of you, but it's a Ryzen 5 5600X processor. This is just the cooler that goes on it because it doesn't come with one. This is the motherboard, B550, MSI, brand name. All of this stuff is brand name. There's no Billy Bob's computer parts in here. Patriot Viper Steel, 32 gig of memory, 3600, not your 3200 memory, so that's a little step up, although the price difference isn't that much. A 1 terabyte SSD. This is the same video card as far as family-wise that Eddie has, an RX 6600, 8 gigabyte. And gamers are going, no, you need at least blah, 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 blah. Yeah, no, we're not building a gaming PC. We're building a video editing PC on the cheap, okay? Nice little case, no RGB, just plain old case. I think it does have a glass side panel, but no big deal. And a power supply. So the only other things you would have to add to this is an operating system, Windows 11, get a cheap CD code for 25, 30 bucks, and a monitor, which you may already have or you may not. So monitor, just standard 1080p monitor, say 130 bucks. Okay, say add a keyboard and mouse, just standard everyday stuff. Say another 150 for a mouse, monitor, and keyboard. I'm at $669, so that's going to put you right at $800. The thing about this PC is every part in here is upgradable. Okay. The only bad thing about this is on an AM4. This is the generation that is getting ready to leave. They're already on the AM5 platform, which is the next socket up. So you have upgrade path as far as, you know, your video card in your processor as long as you stay on this AM4 platform. Okay, the new one, if myself right now, if I was going to buy an AMD system right now, I would make sure I bought an AM5. That's going to be a little bit more money because it's newer stuff, but it's going to last longer because there's more of an upgrade path with processors and stuff like that. That's getting into the technical side. All I'm trying to do here is show you that you can build a very capable video editing PC for about this price. Now, if you already had a monitor and a keyboard and mouse, that's your price. Now, yeah, you got to get the parts and get somebody to build it for you. You buy these parts, I'll build it for you. You got to pay for shipping from me to you, but hey. My point here is I'm trying to show you that you can spend the same amount of money or maybe just a touch more than what you're paying for something for what you're already doing, farm, woodworking, whatever it is you're doing, and have something that you can really use. And then you get all the other benefits of having a decent PC, of being able to run games on. Okay, Eddie's running Call of Duty on his PC. This is basically the same PC, a little bit newer model, maybe in the processor than what he has, but it is the exact same video card. This is the video card that Eddie has. It's an RX 6600. I think it's either an RX 6600 or an RX 6600 XT. If it's the XT, it's a little bit better, but that's what I'm saying. And Eddie has no problems editing videos with DaVinci that took me about half hour to show him how to use DaVinci to do this stuff. Not knocking Eddie, but this stuff is not rocket science. Sorry, I'll shut up. But it's just like buying a tool for your job or anything else. Use the right tool for the right job. A phone is not it. I'm sorry. It's just not. And again, you don't have to go out and break the bank to buy a PC that will get you along. Two more things I want to mention real quick. Laptops are okay. And a lot of people will buy a laptop thinking, oh, I don't have to buy a webcam and all that stuff. Most webcams in laptops are complete 100% junk. Okay. Most unless you spend about $1,000 for a laptop and do some very specific looking, you're not going to find one that has a web camera built into it that does 1080, much less 4K. So if you buy a laptop, just remember that you're going to have a crappy camera in it, and that you're probably going to have to go out and buy yourself a decent 1080p camera. Okay. Plus upgrade paths on laptops, not so great. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention was, I don't know if anybody has heard, or I don't know if anybody uses the Honey extension for PayPal. If you do, please get rid of it, because they are ripping off the people that they are supposed to be giving money to. Okay. I kind of understand the whole technical part about what they're doing. Go look on YouTube. There's plenty of YouTube videos about what they're doing. They're basically, what Honey does is it's supposed to go out and look for coupons for you if you buy something. And there's also affiliate links. Like if you go to somebody's web store and it's affiliate and you go check out or whatever, and if you've installed Honey, I think it works with PayPal. It will actually hijack that affiliate link and replace it with a PayPal link so that PayPal gets all of the money, all of the commission that the creator was supposed to get. And the creator doesn't get it, and he doesn't know anything about it. It basically, if it's the last thing that you have clicked on, it will hijack whatever commission is supposed to be paid to whomever and give it to themselves, basically. But go out and do some research on it. If you're using it, please get rid of it, because you're not helping anybody. Even if Honey hasn't done anything and it comes up and says, I didn't find anything, you have to click on it to get that little window to go away. When you click on that thing, that's when it hijacks it. Whatever you click on that has honey on it, it hijacks the affiliate link that it's supposed to send the money to. So I just PSA there real quick. The online world is sometimes not too friendly, even from people you think you trust. So if you're using PayPal and you're using an affiliate link and people are using honey, you're not getting your money. PayPal is. I think it's PayPal. I shouldn't probably say that without being absolutely sure, but anyway. But you know, if you're, like I said, if you're thinking about being, buying a PC, send me an email, please. Let me at least look at what you're buying and tell you whether I think you don't really have to listen to me, but at least send me an email and tell me what you're thinking about buying. But please be careful of the big box stores, because they don't really care. They're just trying to make money. I would rather see you spend an extra week and wait for it and let me look at it and say, hey, yeah, this is good, or nope. Or if you're lucky enough to live near a Micro Center, I'm going to shout them out real quick. They work on commission, but they're there for you. They're there for, there's 2 Micro Centers in Atlanta. One of them's near me. The other one's over on the other side of town. I've been to both of them, and I've never been steered wrong by any of them. I've had my PCs, one of my laptops that I bought there, I had a problem with it, took it in, fixed it, no problem, no questions. I told them what was wrong with it. They called me back next week, said, it's done. So if you're lucky enough to go to a Micro Center, they can custom build you a PC right there, and they will not steer you wrong on parts. If you tell them you're doing something you want to build something cheap for video editing, they won't build you a gaming PC. So anyway, I'm done. We're eating into Gary's time.
Yeah, Gary's already gone, guys. Jerry, Dollar Family Farm Cooking with Stephen and Jacqueline. Nothing but love. Radio J News. Thank y'all for coming in. See you next week, 7 Central Time. Also, just stay where you are, because you will be automatically redirected. So, Semper Fi. Thank y'all for coming in. Double Dog out.